Hey everyone, it's Miss Joyce. Today we'll be adding and subtracting mixed numbers with unlike denominators within word problems involving regrouping. The chart below shows how much of each soda Levi drinks each week. So based on the chart, we can see that Levi has 8 and 1/3 ounces of Sprite, 6 and 4/6 ounces of Coke, and 7 and 3/4 ounces of Fanta. How many ounces of soda does Levi drink each week? So we're trying to figure out the total amount of soda that Levi has each week. That means we need to add together all of these mixed numbers. So if we look at the mixed numbers, we have 8 and 1/3, 6 and 4/6, and 7 and 3/4. Well, if we look at the denominators, 3, 6, and 4, they're all different. That means for each of these fractions, the sizes of each piece are different. So we need to create equivalent fractions that will have the same denominator for each of these fractions in order to add them together. Well, to do this, we are going to list out the multiples of each denominator. Let's start with 3, since 3 is the denominator of our first fraction. We have 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15. We can do the same thing for 6, since 6 is the denominator of our second fraction. We have 6, 12, 18, 24, and 30. Finally, we'll list out the multiples of 4, since 4 is the denominator of our last fraction. We have 4, 8, 12, 16, and 20. What we need to do is look at all three of these lists to find the first number that can be found in all three lists. Well, if we look carefully, we can see that 12 is the first number found in all three lists of multiples. That means that we can create equivalent fractions for each of these mixed numbers where the denominator is 12. So let's start with 8 and 1/3. We know that the denominator is going to be 12. So let's ask ourselves, what do we multiply by 3 to get to 12? Well, 3 times 4 is 12. So let's multiply by 4 on the top. 1 times 4 is 4. And the 8, which is the whole number in front, stays the same. Let's do the same thing for 6 and 4/6. We know that the denominator, or the bottom number, is going to be 12. So let's ask ourselves, what do we multiply by 6 to get to 12? Well, 6 times 2 gets us 12, so let's multiply by 2 on the top. 4 times 2 is 8. The whole number 6 in front stays the same. Now let's do the same thing for 7 and 3/4. We know the denominator is going to be 12, so let's ask ourselves, what do we multiply by 4 to get to 12? Well, 4 times 3 gets us 12, so let's multiply by 3 on the top. 3 times 3 is 9. The whole number 7 in front stays the same. So now we've just created equivalent mixed numbers where each of the denominators is 12. Now we can add together all of these mixed numbers. So we have 8 and 4/12 plus 6 and 8/12 plus 7 and 9/12. So let's start by adding the fractions first. We're going to add 4/12 plus 8/12, which is 12/12, plus 9/12 is 21/12. Now we can add the whole numbers in front. 8 plus 6 is 14, plus 7 is 21. So we have 21 and 21/12. So we can see if we just look at the fraction, the numerator 21 is bigger than the denominator 12. So we can take out at least one whole and add it to our whole number 21. To do that, we are going to separate the whole number, take out one whole from the fraction, and add the remaining fraction to get 21/12. So let's do that below. Here we have 21 plus, now let's take out one whole, which is 12/12. And now we're going to add another fraction that would have gotten us to 21/12. So let's think, what do we add to 12/12 to get to 21/12? Well, that's 9/12. So we know that 12/12 is the same as one whole. So we can rewrite that as one whole. Now we can add the whole numbers and fractions. We have 21 plus 1 is 22, plus the 9/12 is 22 and 9/12. So Levi each week drinks 22 and 9/12 ounces of soda. Emma and Jasmine each measure their dog's tails. Emma's dog's tail is 3 and 1/4 inches long. Jasmine's dog's tail is 2 and 4/6 inches long. Whose dog has the longer tail? So we're going to be comparing the lengths of each of their dog's tails. We know from the word problem that Emma's dog's tail is 3 and 1/4 inches long, but Jasmine's is 2 and 4/6 inches long. We can see that both of these mixed numbers have different denominators, 4 and 6. We need to create equivalent fractions so that the denominators are the same so that we can successfully compare these mixed numbers. To do this, we are going to list out our multiples of 4 and 6 to find a common denominator. So let's start with 4. We have 4, 8, 12, 16, and 20. Now we can list out the multiples of 6. We have 6, 12, 18, 24, and 30. When we look at both lists of multiples, we can see that 12 is the first multiple that's found in both lists. So that means we're going to create equivalent fractions where the denominator is 12. Let's start with Emma. We know that the denominator is going to be 12. So now let's ask ourselves, what do we multiply by 4 to get to 12? Well, 4 times 3 gets us 12. So let's multiply by 3 on the top. 1 times 3 is 3. The whole number 3 in front stays the same. So 3 and 1/4 is equivalent to 3 and 3/12. Let's do the same for Jasmine's dog's tail. We know that the denominator is going to be 12. So let's ask ourselves, what do we multiply by 6 to get to 12? Well, 6 times 2 gets us 12. So let's multiply by 2 on the top. 4 times 2 is 8. Remember, the whole number 2 in front stays the same. Now that we've created equivalent mixed numbers with the denominator both is 12, we can compare these mixed numbers. We have 3 and 3/12 compared to 2 and 8/12. Well, we can see that Emma's dog's tail is more than 3 inches long, while Jasmine's dog's tail is less than 3 inches. So that means that Emma's dog has the longer tail. We can use this information to answer the next part of the question. What is the difference between the two dogs' tails? Well, remember, the word difference is the answer to a subtraction problem. So we need to subtract these two mixed numbers, 3 and 3/12 minus 2 and 8/12. When we're subtracting mixed numbers, we want to make sure we always subtract the fractions first. We have 3/12 minus 8/12. Well, if we only have 3/12, we can't take away 8/12. So we need to regroup. We're going to be regrouping from the whole number. So what we can do is rewrite each of these mixed numbers as fractions greater than 1. To do that, we're going to multiply the denominator 12 times the whole number 3 and then add the numerator. So 12 times 3 is 36 plus 3 is 39. So the numerator is 39 and the denominator 12 stays the same. Let's do the same thing for the next mixed number. We're going to multiply 12 times 2 and then add the 8. So 12 times 2 is 24 plus 8 is 32 and the denominator 12 stays the same. Now we can subtract these fractions. 39/12 minus 32/12 is 7/12. So the difference between the two dogs' tails is 7/12 inches.